Hi Judy, my name is Gwendolyn. Welcome to the Sentence Guide course. Really great to see that you've got this far in the course material and you've got to the point of writing your first essays. That's fantastic. I know it's a lot of hard work to get to this point, so well done on getting this far. Before I check your essays today, I had a couple of questions for you. It'd be great if you could take the time to answer in your next email. So there are three questions. The first one is, I wanted to know if you've taken the IELTS before, and if so, what score you got. Second question is, have you set a date to take your IELTS again? And if so, what score do you hope to get? And then thirdly, just a quick short answer on why you want to take the IELTS. Is it to immigrate, to go to university, to get a better job? Whatever the reason, that would be really grateful to have just some idea of why you're taking the IELTS. The reason I've asked for the answers to these questions is that I want to know what your goals are, and I want to know why you want to achieve those goals. What's driving you to achieve this goal? So that can help me help you get you where we need to get you in the right amount of time frame. Okay, if you can answer that, that would be great. Right, let's go ahead and look at your essays today. Let's start with your first task 2 here on doing an enjoyable activity with a child. I thought you did a great job with this, Judy, in answering the task response. You came up, I can see you had opposing viewpoints, but I thought you did a good job of providing ideas and examples for both of those points of view. Fairly clear and coherent essay, and some good language throughout. The two things I want to work on when I check your essay and give you some feedback, and where I think we need to improve the most on, is on your grammar. So if a couple of grammar issues, maybe putting the maybe also expanding your lexical resource score a little bit, using some different vocabulary in a couple of places. And then also we need to work on reducing your word count. So Judy, I've counted that you had 322 words. That's 50 words over the maximum that we would suggest. And the problem with having too much is, one, simply you run out of time, and maybe you won't have enough time to write your task 1. The other problem is the examiner will stop reading at 275 words anyway, so whatever you write beyond that will be a waste. And the problem with that is as well as, maybe if the examiner cannot read all of your essay, they may not be able to get the full coherence and cohesion. They may not be able to understand if you've answered the task response, and both of those make up a big percentage of your score. So it's important that we work on reducing your word count, and I'm going to help you with some ideas on how to keep that down lower. Okay, let's go ahead and read through this, and let's see where we can improve. It is claimed that incorporating with children, okay, let's look at this here, can't really incorporate children. So what I would say here, it is claimed that incorporating, and then no with, it is claimed, what was I going to say? Yeah, sorry, it was the word changing this over. So it is claimed that incorporating interesting activities into children's *s daily lives can boost their development in imagination and cognition, which they cannot gain by simply, and that's S-I-M-P-L-Y, simply reading. However, I only would really, adding the word only here will really enforce that you disagree with the former statement. And it's a good word to add to get emphasis here. I only partly agree with this idea. And then it would be great here to have your third sentence, Judy. And this essay will look at the issue using examples from soccer and early reading to demonstrate points and prove arguments. So some sort of summarizing sentence in your introduction here. On the one hand, good, this is really good transition there. I believe that other activities We don't need to say other here. We can say, I believe that activities such as sports can provide numerous benefits for young children's intellectual development. When playing, maybe instead of sports you could use games, just to use some different vocabulary here, or when playing physical, or when engaged in physical activity, something to change up your vocabulary here to increase your lexical resource score. So maybe when engaging in physical activity, don't need an article in front of children. Children can cultivate motor skills and cognitive skills, which help to prepare them. To pair them and to be ready are the same thing, so we can take out some language there to reduce your word count and be more concise. So we can say which can help to prepare them for their school life. Okay. Take soccer. Soccer game, we don't need game here. We know it's a game, so we could just take soccer as a prime example. Then we do a full stop and then a new sentence here. We've combined a lot of complete sentences here with commas, and it's become too much of a complex and actually incorrect sentence. So here do a full stop and the new capital W. Youngsters often, I wonder if you can think of a higher level word than do here. Often execute, that would be a good word to put here. Always trying to increase your vocabulary where you can. Do is very low level. Youngsters often execute a number of actions, including running, kicking, passing a ball, and passing a ball. So whenever we have a list here, Judy as well, the third one on the list will have and before it. So running, kicking, and passing a ball. All of which encourage them to develop their physical abilities and stamina through those movements. And then you lose a comma here and say and, at instead of as, at the same time. They can gain, maybe again enhance, they can enhance, different word, higher level word, enhance their social skills by, and I think the word we want to use here is interacting with others. As a result, the children perform better in their academic syllabus as well as daily life. No in there. Good, Judy. I thought it was a good idea. Good examples there. Some great vocabulary. Cultivate is really good. Cognitive is really good. Yeah, some good ideas there. On the other hand, good. Perfect transitional phrase for your opposing point of view. This is good. I argue that reading can have countless positive effects on children's overall development. The main obvious benefit is that reading can stimulate children's, so apostrophe S, imagination. Children constantly use their imagination to explore the unfamiliar world in storytelling, S-T-O-R-Y, telling, and seek answers in order to satisfy their own curiosity. Furthermore, it can broaden the youngsters, I've got the wrong form of the noun here, youngsters' language skills. This is due to the fact that reading opens up new sources of information. I'm just trying to see if we can reduce down your word count here. This paragraph was quite long, so I would be tempted just to take this out, just to reduce your word count down. It's not entirely necessary for your task response. So recent research here, I think, needs to be added. Recent research by the American Institute of Early Childhood Learning Studies, and then the C in childhood would be capitalized as well, have shown that students, don't need the comma here, that students who often did, again, that's a lower level vocabulary. Think of a more exciting, higher level verb here, who often who often enjoyed reading as a child are more likely to excel in their academic performance in comparison to others who did not. That's all you have to say. You don't have to say often read. You just do a full stop there. In conclusion, while I argue that spending time with a child in a fun activity can develop various skills, I am convinced that reading also places an equal role in children's '(s) development. If reading and other enjoyable activities are used together effectively, children know that could become with the rest of your phrasing there, children would likely become more I'm not sure whether using the word excel here. Would likely excel. I can change the word order here. Children would likely excel more in their later lives. That's how we fix that. Just do the word order there. Okay, quite a lot of grammatical things there, but overall, good job on your task response. You've spent quite a lot of time here. Let's go ahead and look at your second essay on family communication. Okay, Judy, I'm not quite sure where you got this task response. The task response that we normally work with in the sentence guide course is communication between family members is less of late. Do you agree or disagree? It doesn't have this element about the internet is dangerous, so I'm not sure where you got that. Saying that, I'll go ahead and check this essay, but be sure you write the essays on the ones that are in the sentence guide course and not write your own ones. The other thing is, again, you've written too many words. So I will try to suggest some areas where we can reduce the word count, but I would also like you to take the time to find out how many, if you're typing up your essays first, find out how many words you write per line, or maybe even just identify how many lines you need for 250 words, and try to work on, when you're reviewing and writing, keep to those number of lines. I can find out for you. Let me just see, hold on. Yeah, so for example, Judy, in this essay, you've written at least 3 or 4 lines too much. So you need to try to be working on reducing your essay down by about that much to get in with the maximum amount we would suggest. So do think about that, on how you can cut down your lines to get closer to 275 as the maximum. Let's go ahead and read through it, and I'll give you some feedback on the grammar and the sentence structure. An increasing number of people are currently using social networking to meet and talk with their friends instead of face-to-face interactions. While I agree that socializing, different form there, socializing online can cause damage to individuals, add to your article there, and individuals' relationship, no S, with their family and friends in reality. I insist that online communication can improve personal relationships to some extent, instead of in different preposition, to some extent. And again, we need this sentence in the introduction. This essay will look at this issue, use an example from Harvard studies, and people who immigrate, demonstrate points, improve arguments. On the one hand, I believe that using the internet has a negative impact on real-life relationships. This is because frequent internet users, particularly teenagers, often prefer staying at home and interacting with their virtual friends and neglect their buddies and relatives. Before, people often went out and met. You have meet here. You need the past tense, M-E-T. Meet would be present tense, we need the past. Met their friends or families at restaurants and cafes, whereas now they're more likely to stay home alone and chat online. Recent Harvard studies have shown that 64% of youngsters in America communicate with their family members less than 2 hours every day, due to the fact that they spend most of their time on Facebook and Twitter. As a result, this unhealthy activity Maybe instead of would create, is creating. Make it present tense, is creating. Antisocial behavior, is creating antisocial behavior and causing, keep in present tense, damage to the face-to-face relationships later in life. I thought this was a good paragraph, great idea, a good example to back it up, some good vocabulary throughout here. I like synonyms of buddies, which is quite good. So good job with that. On the other hand, I argue that people can derive benefits from socializing online. People can easily communicate with their friends or family from thousands of kilometers away, and this may strengthen their personal relationships with others. For example, when a person immigrates, with an S, immigrates to another country, it can be difficult to keep in touch with their relatives or close, no D, close friends, without social networking, such as Skype or FaceTime. So here you've combined two sentences with a comma, so we can't do that, so I would just go ahead and do a full stop, and then a new sentence. Instead of as, this is at the same time, comma, long-distance phone calls are incredibly expensive to afford. So here, I would take this out, actually, to help reduce your word. That's one area we can reduce your word count down. It's not necessary for the task response, so you could take that out and lose some words. Therefore, the internet allows individuals to keep in touch and be involved with a D in their loved ones' daily lives. I don't think we need the word others there. I just a full stop there. In conclusion, while I believe that development of internet can damage everyday communications in real life, I'm convinced that online interaction can greatly impact on people's real relationships with their loved ones and friends. Good. Although not the task response we've assigned, I thought it was okay. Essay, I think you did a good job of answering the task response in relation to what you used. So, Judy, good two first essays. Need to work some on the grammar, and maybe trying to change up your vocabulary where we can to increase your lexical resource score. So what I would like you to do is I want you to create what we call an error list. This is a list of all the mistakes that you got wrong, and I want you to add any mistakes to this error list. I want you to go ahead and correct these two essays with the suggestions given, and then I want you to watch the next set of podcasts, and then write the next two set of essays, and then get back to me in one email your corrected essays, your two new essays, and your error list, so I can have a look at those all in one email. Okay? Keep up the great work, and I look forward to seeing your next essay soon. Bye for now.